their families at risk because they think Russia is more God-fearing than America is.
You're right. I've seen them moving there. They're moving there.
And getting drafted into the Russian army and to boot. You know, Russia has something like 6% of its population go to church. That's the Russian Orthodox Church. If you're a Baptist, if you're a Seventh-day Adventist, anything else, you cannot bring your kids to church till they're 18, and you cannot proselytize outside the walls of your church. That's the free Christian Russia.
Wow.
That we're all supposed to worship.
And yet you're right. The anti-Semitism. Well, you add in the pumping of the propaganda with China, and then you're talking about just nonstop propaganda, right? It's everywhere.
You look, the Chinese and the Muslims, look at the Israel issue. The Chinese are pumping up Hamas and all the left-wing stuff that we see in the campuses, right? We got all these left-wing Students for Justice in Palestine, Palestine Youth Movement. That's all China and the left. But then the Russians are pumping the Jew hatred on the right to hammer Israel from both sides. So you got Jew hatred going up on the right and the Jew hatred pumping up on the left. And the goal is to destroy Israel. Israel is a little Satan to them.
Not to mention
Israel, we're in big trouble.
Not to mention, yeah, you're right. Not to mention the faction how it's tearing up the MAGA movement.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. The MAGA movement is all that can save us now, as a country. But you've got so much Russian propaganda pumped in against Israel and Ukraine, and then you've got the left-wing infiltration of MAGA, the so-called MAGA communists who are getting in there. And then Tulsi Gabbard's a great example of that. You got all these people converging and trying to tear the MAGA movement apart while pretending to be good MAGA people. I think Trump must be just about going crazy because he's got all these people around him trying to just twist things.
He's hurting cats, isn't he?
It's hurting cats, but I think this problem is because he doesn't really think in terms of ideology. Everything's a deal to President Trump, and
that's
that works.
A very good point.
Yeah, that works great in some things, but it doesn't work great when you're dealing with ideologues like the mullahs or Putin or communist China.
In other words, what he needs is he needs to invite you and me down to Mar-a-Lago and let's spend the weekend with him and brief him on the 6 dominant worldviews that rule